You're listening to the StudioPTBO podcast, where we talk all things marketing to help you build and grow your business online. Welcome to the latest episode. Welcome to the StudioPTBO podcast. We are back, and we're back at it again with a guest, another guest. Neil Morton, how you doing?
I'm great, man. I'm having a great day. What about you?
Doing well, things are good. I can't complain.
Just chilling?
I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Life is good.
The sun is shining.
Yes, it is. It's a beautiful day
It's a beautiful
Peterborough,
day
Canada.
in the neighborhood.
Spring is in the air.
Spring is in the air.
For sure. We have a special guest today. He came all the way from behind the camera.
Behind the camera.
Yes.
Yep.
Lights.
So now we have no one behind the camera.
Yeah. Why is it moving then?
So hopefully this podcast turns out because no one's moving the camera.
Yeah, so our content marketing guy, Jairus Leeson, is in the house.
Yes. Hello,
Did I say your name right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you did. Finally. No. It's been a month and you haven't said it right this entire time.
He finally just said it right. It's so funny though, because Jer, one of our producers for whoever was watching, was so intent on calling you Jarvis.
Like the Iron Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was intent on calling him that?
Jeremy.
Oh, Jeremy. I'm getting all the J's mixed up. Okay. Yeah.
Janish, Jeremy.
Yeah, we have a lot of J's. It's mandatory to hire J's. And Jairus, tell people, what is your story, dude? So Peterborough, born and bred.
Yeah. So grew up here in Peterborough.
Yes.
Cool.
High school?
High school. I went to Crestwood, actually.
So I won't hold against you, but we crushed you guys and everything. Adam Scott.
Minus football.
Yeah.
Yeah, minus football.
Not my day.
Oh,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah,
And we're talking like the 50s back then?
Yeah. When I was a boy.
Yeah, Peterborough born and raised. Out of high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do, right? So I took a couple years off, and I actually worked out at Flying Colors.
Oh, nice.
And I
sweet.
painted airplanes out there for 2 years.
Cool.
And then from then, I kind of realized that, you know what? Every weekend I had a camera in my hand. And I thought, yeah, might as well do something with this kind of thing.
follow that.
And then even throughout high school, too, I had taken some courses. One specific course, I think I took 3 or 4 times. And I got different credits each time I did it, too.
Wow,
which
dude.
was
That's
pretty
creative.
sweet.
Yeah.
So it was a film course. And then eventually I left Flying Colors and took my...
Wings
to
Belleville, Ontario.
To Belleville, Ontario, and went out to Loyalist College there and studied film.
Nice.
So,
Before we pivot to what you did at Loyalist and what that meant to you there, how do you paint a plane? Because I can't. Like, is it like
It's a
like
process.
with a brush?
No, absolutely not.
Is spray paint?
You'd be there for weeks. Yeah, no, it's a big
Neil would
process.
be there for months.
Neil would be there for months.
No, but it is very intricate, right? To paint a plane,
Absolutely.
because it has to
And,
withstand.
Exactly.
lot.
And there's a lot of requirements and checks along the way that you have to meet, right? So, and then also too the weight factor of the paint going on the plane. There's a whole bunch of variations that determine whether or not the plane is ready to fly.
And you have to paint it in the hangar, right? You can't put it on the tarmac on a nice day. I was going to say,
it gets hot in there.
Yeah.
So,
and did you meet any celebrities that you can say?
I didn't meet any personally.
Jim Carrey was there once.
But Jim Carrey was there once. Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal landed at
Shaquille
Peterborough Airport?
O'Neal.
Jack.
Are you kidding?
He got his plane done there before I was there. But he got like the big Lakers logo in the carpet. And
Really?
yeah.
So he came to the airport?
I don't know if he did.
But
his
plane
got done there. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Flying Colors is crushing it, aren't they?
They're doing some really
They
cool
have
things.
a place overseas, I believe, in St. Louis. They have three.
St. Louis. Yep.
And overseas, do
And
they
overseas,
have a place?
Indonesia. Yeah.
Wow, like amazing. So you go from painting to Loyalist College.
Yes.
Camera in hand. What happens at Loyalist?
Lots of things actually. So there, it's a 3-year advanced diploma course.
Okay.
You don't specialize, but you do a lot of broad stroke skills and learning there as well. So first year you cover a lot of TV, broadcast, live entertainment, all that kind of thing. And then you get into basics of a camera, how it works, all that kind of stuff. So you really start from the bottom and build your way up all the way through each year. Mm-hmm. Second year was much different. There was a lot more narrative storytelling, documentary work,
Love it.
all that kind of stuff in second year there. And then third year was when you kind of specialized, whether you wanted to do continue on that narrative storytelling path, or if you wanted to do more of a live studio-based show, which was both of them were really cool ideas. You do film or
So what'd you do? Flip a coin?
Yeah, they just decided last minute.
no. Actually, I was lucky enough to have met a wonderful lady named Karen DeVoe, who was a culinary chef and professor at Loyalist College. And I met her and I did a documentary on her in my second year.
That's cool.
But then that continued and spread over into my third year, where it was a specialized documentary project in my third year. And I was able to travel to Las Vegas and shoot
So
an
cool.
entire documentary on her as well. So
Wow, that's amazing. And then something happened in Uber cab there, right?
I lost a lens cap in an Uber.
Yeah.
And
And you got it back.
I got it back. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
to call the Uber.
Like
great,
he
yeah.
wasn't so. Now, one of the interesting anecdotes about your time at Loyalist, I just found out recently, was you had an apartment for hours, basically. You move into the apartment, the basement apartment, you see black mold, and you go and you leave because it's bad for your health. And Jairus lived in a car for 3
lived in a
months.
car?
He lived
I
in a
lived-
car.
I'm like
live-
learning new things about Jairus that I didn't
See,
know.
I ask questions about his life.
It's just because I attend your
You know I have two
your
girls,
speaking
right?
events.
Huh?
You know I have 2 girls, right?
No, I didn't
No,
know that.
no.
No. I know you have a wife.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. But yeah, Jairus, like this is an amazing story. Like imagine the stress of moving away to a city.
Yeah.
And new school, new city, new friends, and he's living in his car. So tell us where you lived in the car, like how it works.
So
like
yeah,
where you
basically the day I went to move in, I found I walked into the room, and this whole basement apartment had black mold all over the wall.
wasn't paint.
God.
Yeah, no, it wasn't paint. It was just straight up black mold.
And this is the day you moved in?
The day I moved in, I walked into the apartment, not even 30 seconds, and I saw the black mold. I turned around, I called the landlord, and I said, "I'm not living here. I want my money back," kind of thing.
So you hadn't even unpacked yet.
I haven't even unpacked.
Okay.
I haven't moved a single thing in. Like
Was it a basement apartment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So you get back in your car and you're like,
So I get
where
back
am I
in my
going?
car and I'm just like, oh my God, like where am I going to live?
Yeah.
So instantly I'm looking up apartments, looking up places to stay. I could have, I guess, in hindsight, Airbnb or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's expensive.
that's the
You're
thing,
already
too,
out
right?
that money.
yeah. So I never got the first and last month's rent payment
What?
back from my landlord. But anyways, so I spent the first 3 months of my college experience living out of my car.
And what was that like? Like,
It was difficult. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to. I mean, I couldn't really make anything, so you're pretty well eating out every meal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I stayed at the college every day until it closed.
Where did you park your car? Like the
No Frills parking lot.
crazy.
Yeah, in Belleville.
Did you have a job when you were doing that, or
He
no?
worked at No Frills.
No, I had.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I had
kidding.
saved all the money that I was making at Flying Colors. So I actually paid for my whole college education.
Good for you,
so,
man.
yeah.
How'd you figure out where to live though? Like in the car? Like did you drive around different spots? Because it's a lot to go through, process
Yeah.
all at once. So did you scout out different locations?
Yeah, Walmart was one of them.
Okay.
Typically, they don't care because actually they welcome it. Actually,
Really,
I found
eh?
out later because
Oh, it's like security?
well, not only that, I guess maybe potentially, but the likelihood of you actually waking up and then going to buy something in the store the day before or the day after is pretty high. So
That makes sense.
Wow.
I've seen a
Yeah,
lot
that
of truck drivers park their trucks in Walmart.
Yeah.
stuff
Well,
like
you
that.
think it's catnaps, but it could be
Yeah.
overnight. So why would you pick No Frills? So you scout out different locations? and-
yeah, to me it just seemed like one of the safest spots.
Okay.
And then also too, proximity to food.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
What'd your classmates think of that? Did you tell them? Did they know you're living out of
Yeah,
car? Did you
actually, well,
kinda
the
keep-
first thing,
Did you have a car party? A kegger.
The-
No Frills parking lot. Tailgate party.
No gas club.
The first thing I said to people, I was like, look, like I'm living out of my car. If anybody knows out of a place to live or stay at, that'd be great. And my professor was actually the first one to speak up and say, like, if you need anything, just let me know. But I mean, obviously at that point it was like first day of classes and nobody really knows you.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
the trust factor isn't there.
Yeah. No.
Absolutely. Especially when you
Especially
come
when
out
you
and
say
say,
you're living in a
hey,
car.
I'm living out of my car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not there.
Yeah.
But no, people were pretty warm and responsive to me.
That's good.
Come the first week.
How
so.
did you find the place to live? Like,
Another place to live?
Yeah.
So actually, about 3 months in, I found out that there was a cousin that actually lived in Belleville, and my parents had just told me that. So
did they know that like you were living out of your car?
no, they knew, yeah, but like.
The cousin was a distant cousin.
Okay,
It's Belleville. That's
yeah.
a distant cousin. That's
It
like
is a distant-
an hour away.
So after 3 months, I was able to work something out with them, and I was able to stay with them for 2
You
months.
stay with
until I
cousin
found-
Eddie for a while?
Yeah,
Is that
pretty
what
well.
it was? And so you managed to find a place to live, and then who would you consider a mentor at your college? You told me you had a close bond with one professor.
Well, I've grown pretty close with all my professors actually. So, shouts to them if they're listening right now. Probably.
What are
share
their
this
names?
thing.
Give us.
Claude Garapi, Eric Howard, Paul Papadopoulos, just to name a few. Ben Forgy as well.
Cool.
For sure. But yeah, so they were really instrumental in like, keeping. I was debating whether or not like I should even stay in Belleville, right, or if I should just leave and try again next year or whatever.
Yeah.
It was still early enough that I could get my deposit back if I wanted to, but
You persevered.
yeah.
It's resilience. Like shit
That's what it
happens
is.
in life,
You
and
just
you
never
dealt with it.
know.
A lot of students would have walked away.
Yeah, totally.
Like I would have.
Yeah.
I would
I would have went back home for sure.
honestly.
Mom!
And then
Yeah.
again, halfway through my second year, that's when the college strike happened, right? So we weren't
Oh,
in
yeah, I
school
forgot
for
about
6
that.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of fortitude to deal with that young age.
So what do you think was the key takeaway for you, like in going to film school and just learning all of these different things about documenting and about, journalism and about, content creation? What would you say if you had to pick one key takeaway, what would it be?
I mean, it's hard to pick just one.
You have to.
But
Just only one.
I'm going to say two things. One of the key messages is storytelling. By far, the biggest, most important one there is always making sure that everything you put out has a reason, has a story, or has some sort of purpose behind it.
Yeah.
And you're not just putting out, content for the sake of putting out content, right?
Right.
There should be always some sort of reason or some sort of purpose behind it. Whether that be even here, right? We put out daily content. We need people to see that content every day, and then they come in,
Yeah.
whether or not they see it or not, but they come in after seeing it, and that's our reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
We put out daily content, everybody here puts out content, right? Really. But that's one of the key things here. And then the other thing too was, down 7, up 8. It's a Japanese proverb where it says, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. And that was a very, very important key message that I learned in my third year. But it related to, life really.
Yeah, totally.
But I can factor this all the way back to, living out of my car or, the college strike that happened in second year or in third year when some other things happened, right? But it's always about, you fall down 7 times, you stand up 8, or whether it be 9 times or 10 or whatever. But it's taking each and every one of those times, learning something new from it, and then getting back up on your feet and then,
Totally.
running with it.
100%.
Did a professor teach you that? Like where did that come from?
From the documentary that I produced.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. So
You learned that on
through
through
Karen DeVoe. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She she's a jiu-jitsu champion. So, she loses matches, she wins matches. Like that's just the
Life
game,
is failures
right?
and
But
wins.
That's life.
Yeah,
exactly.
It is, and I love that about life, that you always have another at bat, and
You never know.
I'd rather have those than ties and never try anything, right?
Yep,
That's
exactly.
the point.
Yeah.
So then, how did you land with us?
That's a great question actually. So I
How'd
had
you
been
know about us?
I had
Yeah.
been following you guys through PTBO Canada actually.
Okay.
When I was working at the airport.
Oh, okay.
So
That's cool.
every time I had walked, like I go out on weekends, I take photos, I take videos, that kind of thing when I was working at the airport. And then I started seeing on my Discover feed and Instagram some spots from PTBO Canada, some spots that you guys feature that other people have sent in or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, well, this seems like a good page to follow to see if there's
Love it.
any places that are out in the community that we can go and take photos or
Yeah, nice
videos of.
So
So
it's the entry point. That's cool.
PTBO Canada was the entry point, and then through that I reached the studio.
Because we draw a lot of attention to the
Yeah.
studio and our stories too. Leverage the synergies between them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so I think it was second year of college where I kind of
way back then,
Yeah,
even you were starting to follow.
yeah.
That's so cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so that's when I kind of picked up on some of the stuff that you guys were doing, and then I noticed it a lot more in third year. So just this past, or I guess about a year ago now.
Yeah, we were really starting to pump it out last year. It makes sense,
we
right?
were really
Our strategy
starting to
really changed with
focus,
content marketing. It didn't change. It just we weren't at capacity to
I
be
think
able
it
to do
increased.
that.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
a lot because I was seeing it every single day.
And what did you make of that? What you were seeing, we were doing? Did it make sense to you, or like coming in cold? Were you like, what are they up to, or did you kind of?
It made me curious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I was very curious as to what type of work you guys did, and it also made me do my research, right?
Yeah.
I don't think at that point you guys had put out too many big client videos, but I was able to go through your Instagram and see that you guys were working with big clients.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
Piqued your curiosity.
Yeah, exactly. And then from that, I did. I graduated, and then I started working in Toronto. But I had always had this sense of like I need to be back in Peterborough
That's cool,
for
man.
whatever reason.
Yeah.
But so I spent a couple months in Toronto commuting from Peterborough. But yeah, I had always wanted to come back here, and then eventually I saw a job posting on Instagram.
You didn't
about
see it in
guys.
print?
No, I didn't.
I saw it in the paper.
They ran a lead gen ad in the newspaper.
But yeah, no, I saw it on Instagram, and I said, I said this is my shot. So
That's cool, man. And you crushed the interview. And so what do you think of now being here? How long have you been here? I asked you like a month?
just over a month actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what you were seeing coming in cold, now you're immersed in this world. What do you make of it?
I love it.
Yeah.
Honestly. Before coming here, I wasn't challenged to create every single day.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't challenged to provide my own spin or bring a creative approach to things. And I think working here really challenges you to be your best and but also maintaining that while pushing others and collaboration as well, I think has been something that I've really loved about working here. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. And where do you see this? Where do you see this going for yourself? Like already this podcast, we've already put you. You're the producer of the podcast, and we're trying to give you
A lot of planning,
a lot of
things, and
yeah.
booking, and a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah, we just where do you see this going in terms of your role?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you guys have definitely given me a lot of respect coming into the role so soon, and it's refreshing as well to know that people are counting on you. So it's a little bit of a pressure factor, but also it encourages you to work harder as well. But I think going forward, obviously the projects are only going to get bigger.
100%.
We're only going to do more, right? I can't see us going backwards at all because everything that we're doing right now, I think, is
Leading to something
industry leading. Because I
It's a journey,
don't know any other marketing agencies or any other agencies in general, not in this area, and not even closer to Toronto that are doing this either.
Yeah, we really learned it from Gary Vee. Watching him, I've been observing him for years. A huge fan of what he's done, and then we interviewed one of his guys, Tyler Babin, last year, who's now left. But he taught those guys. There was like a crew of 3 guys, D-Rock, Babin, and now he's got new ones coming in as well. But that's where I learned it from. I hadn't seen anyone else, to your point, doing this ever. And I still think to this day there's people, like I think we're light years ahead of everyone else doing that here, which is our competitive advantage.
It's really building the know, like, and trust factor that we talk about a lot, that comfort food, bringing the brand to life. And it's cool because we're now we're starting to do that with a lot more other brands. You're running a lot of retainer stuff, and that's kind of been really our biggest focus is as we work with clients is like, how do we help them track leads, but then become their PR company that essentially elevates the brand and tells the story of the brand more than ever. Like, we chat about this quite often, more than ever, the closeness of the brand to the end consumer is as close as it's ever been. I think you mentioned that at your chat.
Totally,
the other day.
yeah, I did.
Yeah, and I watched the video. I wasn't
It was
there.
a good
but I
line,
watched the
actually. I
video.
just came up with that in real time. I like that line.
Yeah.
It's probably been said before, but it resonated, I think, with the people in the room when I said that.
We're so close now. It's like the brand can now respond,
in real time,
to the actual person. So it's really cool, and it's really awesome to now have somebody documenting daily and
Yeah.
we're pumping out more content. So it's fun.
So the content marketing part is about us building comfort food, about working with our team. What do you make of the client work you're doing so far? So we have you working with how many clients? About 4 or 5 or
absolutely.
more. But yeah, what do you make of the client work?
So far, it's been nothing short of amazing. Like I love the whole process from beginning to end. A lot of the work I'm doing with Jer is he organizes it up front, and all I have to do is show up and shoot with him, make sure we're prepared beforehand, going in, shoot it, and then come back and edit it. But it's a storytelling process, right? You learn people's stories, you connect with them over time, and your relationship only grows, right? So I think
Trust factor
exactly,
too. They get to know you. Yeah, it really works. And we try again to work with good people, like we talked about in the podcast. That really helps. We didn't hand them off mean people.
Exactly. we handed you off good people.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. And so like, welcome to the team, man.
Welcome
And
to the
I
team.
think we're
Thank
so
you.
early
Yeah.
on, and
Yeah.
hopefully you'll look back on this someday as like, wow, I was
look
here
back at this
this-
podcast a year from now. We're at episode 174.
Yeah,
And,
we're early. We're early in. Like we have a lot to accomplish.
getting started.
Still. Yeah, just getting started,
Early.
man. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah, no
Jairus.
problem.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you, Cody.
And thank you for tuning into the Studio PTBO podcast. If you are an entrepreneur that is looking to grow and build their business in the online space, we have a Studio PTBO marketing hacks group. The link is in the comment section below. Click that. We'll ask you a few questions, and then we will see you on the inside. Thank you for tuning into the Studio PTBO podcast. We will see you soon.